Hi, my name is Gunnar Wettergren, and I'm one of the teachers in the Business Strategies and IT Product course, and I'm also the creator of the course. So if you have any good ideas or suggestions, feel free to send them to us, and we'll look into how we can incorporate them. But this short video is going to talk about product portfolio management, which is really the core concept that we're trying to teach or aim for you to learn in this course. And in this video, we're going to define what it is briefly, and we're going to kind of contextualize and situate it just so that you get a feeling for where it belongs and what the purpose is. Obviously, we're going to go into great details in every single little parts of portfolio management throughout this course. But to start with, we'll do a short introduction. So, product portfolio management. We're just going to, from now on, we're just going to call it PPM because it's a hassle to write it out and say it all the time. So the short abbreviation for this is going to be PPM throughout this course. It's also the abbreviation that's used in the market, so you'll recognize it. At the core of PPM, you'll find that it's quite simple actually. It's quite straightforward. Doing the various tasks and methods that are included can be tricky, but PPM is nothing more than a collection of strategies and methods in order to manage multiple projects. I mean, the challenge we have is for example, if we're a big bank in Sweden, we might be running 100 different IT products simultaneously. And how do we allocate resources between these? How do we use resources efficiently? Resource in a very broad sense. I mean, anything from people to computers to power to buildings to cars. I mean, efficiency of use of resources, since they're limited, we have a set amount of people, we have a set amount of money. How do we spend them in the best way so that we'll reach the goal of the organization? And how do we ensure that the products we do run deliver or move us towards the goals that we want to reach? That's kind of at the core of what product portfolio management is all about. There's a lot more details, of course, but one small generic definition could be just this. If we're to put PPM in a bigger context, we can see in this picture, for example, we have 3 different levels with enterprise, portfolio, and product management levels. On an enterprise level, we talk about things like vision, mission, and strategies. Where do we want to be in 5 years? What's the goal of the organization, and so on, right? And at the bottom, we have the projects that actually, in a sense, is how we get there. Projects is the way we get from point A to point B and hopefully reach the vision and the mission set by the executives of the organization. So the way we start projects, the type of projects we start, why we start them, and so on is quite important. And that falls on the portfolio management part, or usually what's called the portfolio management office, PMO. That's where the portfolio management really happens. And this deals with resource allocation, how to prioritize projects, track projects, in essence, to ensure that we get from point A to point B. That we reach the goals and the strategies that we have set for the organization, when it comes to IT in our case then, right? So portfolio management is the glue that glues the strategies of the enterprise to the projects, individual projects that we run. And if we were to make a quick comparison between product management and PPM, we see that in a product management sense, when it comes to scope, for example, we deal with a lot of control and manage. We know what the scope is, we kind of keep it limited, and we control and manage that scope. That's what product managers do. In a product portfolio, however, we're more interested in talking about how we select projects. What scope should the products have? Are the products, in a sense, strategically aligned? Meaning, do they help us reach the goals? Time-wise, in a product management setting, we talk about how to manage tasks, when are they due, very nitty-gritty details. In PPM, we're more interested in short-term, long-term projects that reach the long-term or short-term goals. And so how do they fit into the goal attainment and our ability to reach goals in a short and long-term period. Resource-wise, we talk about utilizing the resource that we've been given in product management. And in PPM, we talk about giving resources in a sense, right? Where we have a total pool of resources that we have to take care of and monitor, so that we make sure they're used in a good, efficient way. Tools-wise, product management has the traditional tools that you might be used to by now, product plans, budgets, and so on. In PPM, we're more interested in enterprise resource type applications, dashboards, keeping track of a large amount of data from economy system, from various types of systems throughout the organizations. So our tools are somewhat different in the PPM setting because it deals a lot more with monitoring and tracking when it comes to the actual tools. Impacts of change is really, if you look at the product management, we manage change inside of our project, right? Deals with change when it comes to users, avoid user pushback due to not being involved, for example, in the design and the implementation process and so on. In a PPM setting, we're a lot more interested in the cross-organizational changes, the bigger changes we wanna reach, I guess you could call it. And when it comes to industry evolution, that's not really applicable for product management because we don't really change anything when it comes to the industry per se, right? But when in PPM, really, we want to evolve as an organization. That's really what PPM strives for, is to how do we measure, how do we compare the wanted state against our portfolio that we're currently having to make sure that our portfolio will get us to the wanted state at some point in time. Right, so that's it for this short little lecture. We're going to go into all sorts of details when it comes to the various parts that we've touched upon here. But for now, it's a good definition, and it's just enough for you to get started.